What is going on, everyone? Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We got Big Rich, we got Thrift, we got great guests, and we got a lot we're going to be getting into. The Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame came out with their all-by-city teams, if you will, Richard. We'll dissect those a little bit, kind of give you our thoughts on that. We'll do that later on in the show. Also, we will have on today Nathan Flurry talk about the Lions, what happened with them last Friday, some moves that are being made, and looking forward to having him on as they get prepared for their next home game coming up April the 18th. We're going to go into soccer. We won't have our rankings today. We'll probably drop those on Sunday, but we will kind of go into the standings, and Richard will update you on what's going on with them and anything else that we can think of. Obviously, NCAA March Madness, NBA, we're going to give awards. It's Thrift, it's Rich, and we're presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Buffalo Rock, Pepsi, Gordy Eye Care, and Kinetic Credit Union. Big Rich, how you doing, man?
Oh, doing great. Just great being here with you, Thrift.
All right, so as I made mention, the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame came out with their all-by-city teams. Richard, were you able to see them when they came out? They did share them this past week. So actually, this was actually over a week ago. We just now getting into it. All right, Richard, if you want, we can start on a couple ways. So they did the small girls basketball school, and I'm guessing they considered Carver, Spencer on how they did their small girls.
Yeah,
Carver,
they consider those small schools.
So 2A and the private schools. They got Caden Cooper, Alexandria Burke, Michaela Hosley, Grace Smith from Pacelli, Alexandria Burke from Spencer, and Nadra Ross from Spencer. Out of the small schools, girls basketball, are you seeing anything missing there? Obviously, Hardaway's not on there, but I'm assuming they put them in the bigger schools, large schools basketball, and they did. They put them in there with Russell County Central. So kind of unorthodox on how they did it because Hardaway technically is 2A. They probably should be in the same thing as Carver. So how they did theirs, Richard, do you have any problem with the 5 that they selected?
I actually didn't. They actually categorized Columbus as a large school. So I was kind of like thumbing through here trying to figure out what did they do with Columbus? But they actually put them as a large school, and Harmony Franklin and Quishai Walcott from Shaw actually got honorable mention. Yeah, so Shaw is considered a large school because they were in 4A last year. I don't have a problem with the list. I know that
if you look at honorable mention, Bobby Taylor Brazil, Carson Galligan, and Jordan Chilius, that's the Kendrick player, and then Glenwood's Bobby Taylor Brazil, who had many double-doubles this year, and Galligan leading scorer for Brookstone. The second team, Richard, was Micaiah Clark from Chatco. You've seen her play.
I saw her play. She's really good.
Trinity Walker from Carver. Tamaya Ransom from Pacelli. Brianna Brownlee from Spencer. And Zanaya Young from Jordan. Out of the small schools, I guess, that they lumped in there, Richard, I don't have a problem with anyone. I don't. Harris County, Calvary was also in this mix. I don't think Calvary had anyone that should have been on these teams yet. They're young and improving. So I don't have a problem with the small girls team. So let's move on to now the small schools boys basketball. And again, that's Carver, Spencer, Chatco, Pacelli, Kendrick, Jordan, Glenwood. And on there is Champ Simpson of Chatco, which is a no-doubter.
Well
That's
deserved.
a first ballot, 25 points a game. Tony Montgomery, Carver, he's an all-state player. That's a no-doubter. Kerry Griffin, another guy that was region player, the offensive player of the year, no-doubter. And then Makai Williams and Jalen Bush. Zero problem with anything on this list. I don't think anyone is missing. And then the second team, TJ Benson from Calvary, Chapman Dykes from Brookstone, Noah Harris from Kendrick, Michael Rowe from Pacelli, and Tobias Tolbert from Carver. Swag Holloway and Marino Neal from Jordan both got honorable mention. Richard, I think my only gripe would be I'd probably have Swag somewhere up a little bit higher. I probably would have put Noah Harris as honorable mention because Glenwood did second in the region, won over 20 games. I think Swag had a great season. Really, Braylon Alexander you could have had in that conversation as well. I would have had a Glenwood, but honestly, I'm not going to be too nitpicky. And this is just me, but I probably would have had Tobias Tolbert in there over Makai Williams from Pacelli. And here's why. Makai was excellent this year. He was the second leading scorer, third leading scorer on the team. He did all the little things right. I really feel like this upcoming senior year for him is where he's really going to take off, and he's going to put Columbus on the map as that's a D1 top level Power 5 conference guy. I'll see him in the NCAA tournament in the near future, Richard. But I think I would have had Tobias Tolbert there. He had multiple games of having double-digit blocks, and I think they needed a center. I would have had him in there with Jalen, Carey, Tony, and Champ. But again, I'm just nitpicking right now. I don't have a problem. I don't think they left anyone off. Is there anybody that you on that list that you didn't see that you wish you would have?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they include Marion County or Central Talbotton, and I'm just wondering if they're included on this list because Central Talbotton had two players that averaged over 18 points a game, but I'm not sure. I think they just include Chatco.
All right, well, let's move on, and now let's talk to large girls. It's large school for the girls. Jabria Lindsay, first ballot, no doubt. No one has a problem with that. Janiah Broom, first ballot, no doubt about it. Incredible career at Harris County. Mackenzie Word, 20 points a game as a sophomore, getting there on the first team. And then Rihanna Boyden and Michaela Johnson for Hardaway. Second team was Quiana Hunter from Northside, Akila Shelton from Hardaway, Shemaya Oliver from Smith Station, Alana Coulter from Hardaway, Alana Coulter from Harris County, Deja Burrell from Hardaway, Quisha Walcott from Shaw, and Harmony Franklin rounded out. I will be honest with you. I probably would have left Mackenzie Word off the first team and put her in the second team because I know she'll be on the first team these next 2 years of her career. And I feel like A.K. Shelton, who was the defensive player of the year, should have been first team. And I think 3 Hardaway girls should have been on there. They won the state championship, Richard. I think Michaela, Rihanna, and AK should have all made it. I'm glad they put Burrell in as second team. When looking at this list, Richard, for the large schools, is there anything you think they're missing on there? And I honestly, from my calculations, I do not think they're missing anyone. I'm pretty happy with this first and second team.
I'm happy with the list as well. I think that when it comes to large schools, I'm surprised there's not another Central player on here. I know we didn't get a chance to see. We saw Shemaya Oliver once at Smith Station. I'm okay with this list. I kind of wish they'd have a third team, but yeah, they only do the first and second team, and they got 2 honorable mentions. I'm okay with it.
All right, so let's continue on for the large schools and boys. Jacoby Hill, again, no-brainer. Jaditz Ford, no-brainer. Here's where I guess I'm assuming that because of the small amount of large schools that they're picking from, this is why a freshman and Xavier Davies from Northside made first team because of how they did it. Josh Battle from Russell County and Cameron Williams from Smith Station. Second team was Jonah Jones from Central, Bryce Dawson, Yakime Marcus from Columbus, Alenzo Talley from Shaw, and Kingston Henry from Russell County. Ethan Garrett and Tristan Jackson from Hardaway and Harris County got honorable mention. When looking at these, Richard, do you got a problem with the freshman Davies being in there? Would you put another Central? I'm going to be honest. From what I see from this list, the only one I probably would have changed, I probably would have put Alenzo Talley in there. He was a leading scorer on a team that made the playoffs, third in the region. I would have had him first team over Xavier because, again, Xavier is going to be a first team guy. He's only a freshman. I probably would have let him be second team and put Talley there. Anything stand out to you, Rich?
I can understand that when it comes to the large schools, Central has the majority of the talent that we know that's made a deep run in the playoffs. To be honest with you, Bryce Dawson and Jonah Jones could easily have been first team, but I think that they're spreading the wealth. Xavier Davies had a fantastic year for Northside. He's only a freshman. He's just going to continue to get better. Joshua Battle had a great year for Russell County. Cam Williams, remember, he hit that buzzer beater against Auburn.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this list. I think I would have put Alenzo Talley instead of Xavier Davies because I agree. And I'm shocked that J.J. Jackson didn't make this list from Columbus. I thought that J.J. Jackson had
I think that's a great point.
phenomenal year.
I think that's 100% a great point. I know Yekeme made it, I think, because he's a senior. JJ should have been at least honorable mention. That guy was he was the best player on the court for many games with Columbus High this year. I'm going to end it with this, Richard, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk with the GM of the Columbus Lions, Nathan Flurry, here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Rich, you can chime in, but I think we and you think alike when we do these type of things. I'm going to combine large and small school, and I'm going to give you my 5 best players this year for boys and girls. For the boys, Tony Montgomery, Jacoby Hill, Jalen Bush. I would probably go Tobias Tolbert. He was so dominant inside, man. He altered and changed so many games as the big man inside. For that 5th option, Richard, Jalen obviously got up a play there. He's getting it. Jacoby's getting it. Tony Montgomery. Those are no-brainers. I think Tobias, you got to have a big man. Who would be that number 5 for you if we had our Georgia Alabama Sports Live list? You're muted, Rich.
See, when you have kids and they're screaming in the background, sometimes you got to mute yourself.
Yeah,
I got 5: Jacoby Hill, Tony Montgomery, I believe, Jalen Bush, Mekhi Williams, and Tobias Tolbert. That is my 5.
So you're going to put Mekhi in there? He would.
Yes.
He would be. I can see Mekhi, man. I also can see. No, I just lost my train of thought. I'd probably go Mekhi too. Michael Rowe was really good as well. For
you know what? I want to change that. What about Champ Simpson?
If we're going to count Chatco, but remember we didn't do many Chatco games, but we did some. I wouldn't have a problem.
3 of them.
Yeah, I'd probably put him in there, Richard. I'd probably go Champ Simpson. So, and you know what? Shout out to Curtis Simpson. Let's put him in there. Champ Simpson, he's the number 5. On the girls, I think it's A.K. Shelton, it's Shabria Lindsay, it's Michaela Johnson, it's Rihanna Boynton. Who would be that number 5? And it would be Michaela Hosley.
Yeah.
Give me that 5. I would beat anybody in the state of Alabama, Georgia, Florida. I don't care where it is. Columbus, Tri-City area versus everyone. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with the Lions GM, Nathan Flurry. Lions took their first loss in a couple of years. We're going to talk about how we're going to get it back on the right track and more here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy, and Gordy Eye Care for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We're back here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. I see what you did there, Richard. Throw that logo up, man. You know what you're doing, dude. And let's go ahead and bring him on. He's the GM of the Columbus Lions. His name is Nathan Flurry. What is going on, Nathan?
Hey, how are you guys?
Excellent, man. So glad you were able to join us here this evening. Where you at right now, man?
Man, I'm actually over here at the Hornet's Nest. It's a restaurant out here in Beauregard a buddy of mine owns. So decided to go ahead and bring the kids up here. Tonight's their burger night, man. They got some good deals going on. So thought we'd come up here and grab a bite to eat real quick.
Hornet's Nest. We're giving you a shout out right now. Everyone out there, go try it out and tell them Nathan Flurry sent you. All right, Nathan. Lions took their first loss in a couple years, okay? Kind of an eye-opener, and I think, me and you talked on the phone, man, I think this is a eye-opener not only for everyone in the organization, for the players who are like, hey, we got to step our game up a little bit, but I think this for everyone in the city of Columbus and all the fans. Hey, we're playing in a top-notch league. What were your thoughts on what happened on Saturday, man?
Well, I mean, honestly, Thrift, it was a lot of mental mistakes, man. I mean, a lot of stuff that could have been stopped, but I mean, at the same time, I think all the guys were humbled by it. It's something like you said, it's been over 2 years since we lost a game. We've won 2 championships back to back. So I think this was kind of the wake up call that the team needed. To sit there and be like, hey, look, this is where we need to go ahead, get back on our grind, get our head on straight, and understand that the competition's there. We've got a lot of hard competition coming up too. So, like I said, I think it's something that is a good thing but a bad thing at the same time.
Well, Nathan, I want to talk about just the Columbus Lions playing on the road. Watched that game and saw that they muffed the kickoff 3 times. And anytime you do that, you're not winning a game. And they were down 14-0. They're down 14-0. Just the mistakes, they just couldn't overcome it. I mean, I know that's things they can clean up, but what was really your takeaway playing a Carolina team that really played very well in that first game against Columbus defensively, but they were able to respond, and that's why Summers ended up getting NAL Player of the Week, because he had a great game.
He deserved it, man. He deserved it. I mean, when you come out, and of course, I mean, you guys can see it. Anybody can see it if they go on the NAL page. You can see the Cobras made a lot of changes, a lot of changes. Brandon Negron actually stepped back in as a coach. That was a big thing. That was a big difference. Nobody was really expecting for him to step back in. So for the changes that they made, it was obviously it done them well. Got them the job done. They successfully beat us. But I can promise you that's not going to happen again. It's one of those that we're making the necessary changes that we need. We see where we dropped the ball, no pun intended. But we see the multiple places where we could change and fix. And after talking to the coaches, I mean, the guys were pretty down about it. But like I said, I think everybody was also humbled at the same time. We needed something to be able to sit there and go, oh wow, okay, guys, the competition's a lot harder than what we've been used to the past couple of seasons. So, like I said, this is going to be a good thing, but a bad thing at the same time. So,
yeah, no doubt, man. And looking forward to April the 18th, taking on Beaumont. They're undefeated still. Omaha Beef, they're still undefeated. So, got a tough stretch for us to finish.
It is.
Any other news or notes you want to kind of update anyone on, man? What's going on within the Lions organization?
Well, we're making some changes. I'll put it that way. You guys just stay tuned and watch what we do and some of the changes we make. I think that most of the Lions fans are going to be pretty happy. We're going to come back twice as strong and 4 times harder. So, you guys go ahead and be prepared for that. April 18th is going to be our military night. All of our military people, get in, bring your IDs. You get in for free. We'd love to have you there. I mean, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. We're ready to have all you guys there. Come out and join us and see what we got to have. I think it's going to be a really great game between us and Beaumont. So let's see what they can bring to the table. See if they can keep up with us.
And I haven't gotten to talk to Coach Daniels yet. We'll be able to we didn't do a live show this week from our partners over at the Varsity, which is an excellent place. We'll be back there next week. But I know you've talked to him, and I know Coach Daniels and his mindset is, hey, and now I got something to use, because if my guys don't listen to me, we could lose games. So what is his mindset as we get ready for that next upcoming game?
It's the same thing, just keep grinding, man. He said, hey, chalk it up. A loss is a loss. It's mental mistakes. He was like, Nate, it's stuff that can be fixed. It's stuff that just needs to be worked on. It's nothing extreme, So his mindset is keep your nose to the grindstone. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Have the guys put in the work, and we know we're going to be successful.
Nathan, last year during Military Night, a very special moment occurred that made SportsCenter Sunday morning. Roman Deloach, after scoring a touchdown, went into the stands and he gave a football to a soldier. I thought it was really cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
And the fact that it made ESPN Sunday morning, I think it was awesome. And I think that it made like people outside of the Columbus area, the state of Georgia, think, who are the Columbus Lions? It really kind of put the Lions into a spotlight for a brief moment on ESPN. Just talk about what Military Night means to this community here in Columbus, especially with Fort Benning and having all these soldiers that are going to be packing the Civic Center. And you see it with other sports in Columbus, but it's special because the military's tough. It's rough and tough bunch.
It is.
And football is a tough sport. So it's like a perfect marriage.
It is, and of course, military night for us means everything. I mean, honestly, we can't thank the guys and girls of our military enough for everything they do for us, the support that they show us, the love that they show us. We can't thank them enough for what they do for this country. So, if it's something small, just being able to get them in the door and let them celebrate a victory with us, let them celebrate football with us, and just being blessed that we're in the United States of America, man. That's what we're here for. We're here to thank them for that. And we couldn't ask for a better group of people right there at Fort Benning.
Exactly right, man. And so again, coming up April the 18th, Beaumont coming to town. We will have it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It'll be on Columbus Lions YouTube and of course the NAL YouTube. Well, Nathan, thank you so much, man. And for last call, for those that maybe want to get VIP seating, maybe they want to get a luxury suite or whatever it may be. If they want to have the ultimate experience, how do they go about that process, Nathan?
Look, just reach out to us, guys. You can reach us on Facebook. You can go to columbuslions.net. Our phone number's on there. Email addresses are on there. Shoot us an email. Call us. We'd love to make sure everybody's taken care of. Get you a suite. Get you some VIP access. Don't forget with us, y'all get the chance to meet the family. Y'all get the chance to meet all the guys after the game. So come meet everybody. Get some merch. Get some stuff signed by us, guys. So.
His name is Nathan Flurry. He's my friend. He's also the GM of the Lions. Appreciate it, man, and look forward to talking to you real soon.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Nathan.
Nathan.
That is Nathan Flurry, and we're going to take another break. When we come back from break, we'll give some updates on what's happening soccer-wise around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And then, Richard, we will also talk some unsolicited hot take, as we always do here.
I'm waiting for that.
Alabama Sports Live. We'll be right back after this. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
I mean, one day somebody's gonna give us money for that.
I like the way he looks at that girl. It's like, yeah, that's his girlfriend.
Yeah. My question is, if that's his girlfriend, I would have looked at him like, "You're still asking your mom for money?" That's how. That's how I would have been. All right, let's talk soccer, Richard. So we're gonna have our rankings that are gonna come out on Sunday. So update us on what's happening. Who are some of the teams that could be in the mix for a championship? And I know we got some nationally ranked teams here in our area.
Well, we're going to start with the girls because the Pacelli girls are still undefeated. I had them at 1. They're 10-0-1. They had a tie. I guess they still have ties in soccer. They don't want to do penalty kicks in high school. No. Smith Station, 15-2. The Smith Station girls are looking really good. Of course, the Columbus girls, they got 1 loss. The Harris County girls, they only have 2 losses. Northside's got 3 losses. And then you really got 5 really strong teams in this area. And then Brookstone, Glenwood, Shaw, Calvary, and Hardaway, they're all on the outskirts trying to make a playoff push. And then over on the boys, well, you got to start with the defending 3A champions, the Columbus Blue Devils. They're 10-3, but they are ranked number 1, followed by Central. Central's having a pretty good year. Northside at number 3. Calvary, their first year in the GIAA. Coach Orr has got a team that I think they can compete for a GIAA championship. Remember, that's going to be at the end of May at Stratford. At Stratford. Anyway, Stratford Academy, because I was there last year.
Yeah, you were.
Shaw at number 5. How about the Jordan Red Jackets? They're a very solid team. They've had some pretty good opponents. They've played Glenwood, but we got Pacelli, Coach Cochran. He's got a young team. He's got a team that's kind of just trying to figure out trying to get their feet wet. They're trying to try to find an identity in the GIAA.
Right.
How about Spencer? Spencer got to the Elite Eight a couple years ago. Coach Quantavious Allen, who's now the girls' coach, by the way. I don't think he's coaching the boys' coach anymore. But big shout out to Oswaldo Valencia, former Spencer Green Wave, who played for the Columbus Rapids. I always try to give a shout out to those soccer players in the area. Harris County, because you know Harris County boys. I know Rick Beach. He had the soccer coach on the Harris County Coaches Show. They're an exciting bunch. And then rounding out the top 10 for the boys is Brookstone, which Brookstone, actually, when I was over there calling a baseball game, they actually do have a soccer field, but they don't play their soccer matches on there. They actually play at Max Strong Stadium. So hoping that maybe we can get a Brookstone soccer game, maybe possibly when they play Pacelli or Calvary. I think we already did get Brookstone and Calvary. But that is our inaugural top 10 list for the girls and the boys. I know that as we get closer to playoffs, it's going to come down to the wire. I mean, we've got some teams in our area that can compete for state champions. And it really starts with the foundation of CYSC and Concord Fire South. I think these two soccer programs are top-notch in Columbus. You got Sousa over at Smith Station. You got the Harris County Soccer Club. You've got club teams. I mean, Columbus United FC. I mean, there's so much soccer talent in this area. And so we've got some great soccer programs.
We do. I was trying to save those rankings, Richard, where we actually can throw up a graphic, but you got to kind of preview. I was just hoping you would just give us like the lay of the land, if you will. But we'll throw it up there anyway on Sunday. And
remember, they got games, so the rankings might change based off a record, even though the Muskogee County schools are on spring break.
We will see about that. I know that a lot of the seasons, baseball and soccer and tennis, golf, a lot of them are wrapping up here in the next couple of weeks because playoffs start at the end of April and the beginning of May. So we'll see how everything plays out with soccer. All right, let's move on and let's talk about where we're going to be at the rest of this week. So tomorrow we got CVCC softball and baseball, and we got Glenwood softball and baseball. On Friday, we got Harris County doubleheader. And we also have, I know we had one more game on Friday because the Glenwood game got moved.
Got moved to Thursday.
Yeah, and Glenwood, Abbeville Christian Soccer is on Friday. Nothing on Saturday, and we'll be back on Sunday to recap the Final Four and then talk about the National Championship. We will not have a show on Monday, and then next week we got a incredible week of games, and it starts with Calvary and Shaw. At Shaw, Monday, April the 7th. I mean, we've done a ton of Shaw games.
Look,
but Shaw plays everyone locally, man.
Here's the thing about Shaw, and I can understand people are asking, well, why are you guys calling all this many Shaw games? They've played Brookstone twice. They've played Columbus. They've played Hardaway. They've played Calvary, Northside. They play all the local teams, so we want to try to show love to all these local teams. So I can understand. They played Smith Station. I mean, we had to get that game because, it was an opportunity to get Smith Station. So you got to give credit to Coach Shackelford for, scheduling local. And that's why, look, I talked to Kingston and Kingsley Long's mother. She's excited. The whole family's excited that we're showcasing the Long twins. But that's just the way that these games are playing out. That, Shaw is on the schedule because they're playing a lot of local teams.
Exactly right. And then also next week is Harris County and Northside. Ooh. Oh,
get your popcorn ready. I need to get like a little prop like for popcorn and just
mine's already ready, man. I'm excited about it.
I cannot wait. I was talking to Ricky Rogers, the PA announcer for Northside. Northside gets to host twice. So there's game 2 is going to be up in Hamilton. Northside's feeling really confident, especially after taking 2 out of 3 against Stars Mill, and they had no problem against Shaw on Tuesday. They're firing on all cylinders.
So we will have those coming up next week, and I will say, as the playoff stretch comes, we're going to have Jordan Columbus. That's a battle of first place next week. We got Central Smith Station baseball. That's also next week. So we still got a ton of games left. By the way, Glenwood's last baseball game, April the 11th, because they start the playoffs the next week after that.
Wow.
So Glenwood will be done Apper next Friday. Can you believe that?
That is quick.
I know Calvary goes until May. I know a lot of those GIAA schools will go until May. I think Harris County, they wrap up also against Stars Mill April the 17th. So we're almost there, man. We're almost to the point where we're ready to wrap up. But I'll tell you, some guys that have really stood out during the baseball season, and we're going to have more time to talk about this on Sunday. So, Richard, I don't want to take a lot of time on it. But the Long twins have been sensational. Mason McCrane's been absolutely sensational. Tyler Sykes, pitching-wise, Sean Woo Kim, they've been great. Michael Nottleman, I saw he hit 2 home runs against Glenwood the other day and had a 6-run lead against the best team in this area in Glenwood. Also throw Sam Brown in there.
Bradley Smith. For Jordan.
Mercer Hudson. We have some incredible talent, baseball talent in this area, man. Tommy Irvin's been really good. Cam Houston has been very consistent for Calvary. I think that we are heading for an incredible stretch. And then, of course, Northside and Harris County, they just overall as a young team, both young teams, they've been great as well. So I can't wait to see how the playoffs kind of wrap up here during baseball season. So it should be a lot of fun. So, again, on Sunday, we'll have our soccer rankings, the baseball rankings for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll update the standings like we did during basketball. Remember, towards the end of the year, Richard would make standings. We'll have standings for you that we can dive into and like, all right, here it is, because Glenwood takes on Lee Scott this week. Actually, they're taking them on right now, which I don't know if we can get a score update because I think the game's already happened. So we'll see if we can't get a Glenwood Gators score update. Richard, maybe you could find something up there. But if not, it's okay. I don't see anything right now. So when we find that, we'll give you an update information. That's a huge one. So if Glenwood wins today, all they need to do is win one tomorrow.
I got a score update. Glenwood defeated Lee Scott 6-0.
Yeah. So they're showing again what happened yesterday against Columbus High. And I talked about this with Coach Fanning. He couldn't use his top 3 pitchers because he needed them for this mega series against Lee Scott. It's for the area championship. Sorry, but no offense to Columbus High. Columbus is not even in the same league or in the same state as Lee Scott. So what game matters more is obviously that Lee Scott series. So he had to throw guys like Cooper Favors, Reese Adams. These are lower down on the depth chart, but they got experience. And they were able to battle back and come back and win that game 12-6. And then they just dominated Lee Scott today. And I feel like that's going to happen tomorrow too. Glenwood is on a pace where I think they're going to have an historic year of what they've accomplished. And the only top team in our top 6 they have not played is Brookstone. They have beaten everyone else, Richard. That's how talented this Glenwood team is, man. They've been really good. All right, let's take one more break, Rich. And when we come back, we're going to come back with unsolicited hot take. We're going to go into our NBA. It's towards the latter half. I want to also talk college basketball Final Four. And I got some strong thoughts on Kevin Willard and coaches nowadays. And like a Buzz Williams, the mindset these coaches have. Well, none of it makes sense to me. And any coach that calls out a player for leaving in the transfer portal, you know what? Let me save it. You'll hear it right after the break. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to the Campus Academy Private School, where every student is celebrated for their individuality. With personalized curriculum, students unlock their potential, growing into confident learners. At the Campus Academy, we give teachers the freedom to create dynamic classrooms where every student's voice is heard. Discover the difference. Enroll your child today and watch them thrive.
Campus Academy, I will vouch for that, is one of the top private schools in this area, and they are still having room for enrollment for next year. All you got to do is go to thecampusacademy.com, set up a tour, and see if they can't be the school for you next year. All right, so let us continue on. Big Rich, it's unsolicited hot take, and I said I was going to go on a rant, so we'll start college basketball first. We'll wrap up NBA here in a second. Kevin Willard. This is not something that's new. You know, it comes out that he's looking at the Villanova job 2 weeks before the NCAA March Madness. His team makes a Sweet 16, and he's kind of had his 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. And you could tell this Maryland team was a shell of itself when they got to play Florida because they knew their coach was leaving. A lot of those guys are either going to hit the transfer portal, Derek Queen, or they're seniors, or Derek Queen is going to go to the NBA. And the Crab Five is what they called them because of the Terrapins. They're really just gutted. And I will listen to Scott Van Pelt, who everybody knows SVP is a big-time supporter of Maryland. And he made mention that Maryland gave Kevin Willard everything he needed. They raised the money and the funds for him to go after the transfer portal, to bring in the NIL top-level talent, and yet he's still left for Villanova, which I get. They won 2 national championships here in the last several years. Jay Wright made that a perennial national powerhouse, if you will. But the way he handled it was atrocious. The things he said were BS, fake. And this is where the coaches should be called out for the nonsense that they tried to call out the players for. This is terrible. And then you got Buzz Williams, who is at the biggest checkbook school in the country, Richard, with the oil money at Texas A&M. And he decides, I'm going to go to Maryland. A Maryland that doesn't even have an athletic director because Damon Evans, former Georgia AD that's been at Maryland the last several years, is leaving to go to SMU. Again, the oil money. And I'll get to SMU here in a little bit. The NIL, the money situation is changing the landscape of all college sports. I feel like I feel like more so with Buzz, he does this every job. He was at Marquette for 6 years. He was at Virginia Tech for 5 years. He was at A&M for 6 years. I feel like he wants to move on after 6-7 seasons. That's just my mindset with him. But the lateral move that he made, and then Kevin Willard coming out and just the way he handled the entire situation, I don't like it. I think it is a bad look for college basketball, and it's getting to the point now where it's just not what it used to be, man. And I know that's a pretty obvious statement that I'm making, but even with the coaches, man, to pull a move like this in the middle of a March Madness run, it is mind-boggling, to say the least. And I just don't have much patience for it, man, because everyone's calling out the kids nowadays for the transfer portal. You know, anytime it gets tough, they want to leave. Look what Kevin Willard did. Things are going to get tough. No AD. I'm heading out here. I'm getting looked at by Villanova. It's the same thing he did with Seton Hall as well. Just not a great look, and that's my opinion on it, Rich.
Yeah, if I'm a Maryland fan, I guess I'm happy that I got Buzz Williams, but I'm very disappointed that Kevin Willard left the way he did. It reminds me of, me being a Memphis fan, 2009. I will never forget John Calipari leaving Memphis for Kentucky.
Yeah, but hold up.
It's Kentucky, though.
Yeah, but you didn't hear he was leaving for that job in the middle of Memphis' Sweet 16 run. Remember, they made the Sweet 16. Yeah. Not even close to the same. And then Kentucky, no offense to Villanova, Kentucky's the biggest job, or was at that time the biggest job, one of the biggest jobs in the sport.
Yeah, and Villanova has not been the same program since Jay Wright left in 2022. Look, the mini dynasty that Villanova had, winning championships in 16 and 18, that was pretty much because of majority of the New York Knicks. I mean, and Dante DiVincenzo and, Jalen Brunson, and those players were awesome, and that was a dynasty that Jay Wright built. I don't think Villanova will ever get back there. One, the Big East is down. Two, with NIL, Villanova is just strictly a basketball school. I know they have football. We had this conversation with Nubias Wilburn on the Sports Visions radio show, talking about Villanova as being a basketball school. But with NIL, you're going to get college basketball teams with bigger checkbooks, and you have to have a strong football team. That's why we're seeing Alabama and Auburn do well in college basketball, because if the school makes money from football, that money is going to spill over into NIL, and the basketball programs are going to be great. And that's why we're seeing that the SEC is the best conference in college basketball. I think the days of Georgetown, St. John, Villanova, Marquette, I think those days of them dominating college basketball are over. They're still going to be good.
I think that's a good point. And that's a great conversation, Rich, in talking about how they better have money. Now, they do have great alumni, so I'm not willing to say they're going to be completely done, but I'm with
Marquette's got Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll still be competitive, but you're right. If they're going to want to keep up now with the SEC, who is willing to invest in their basketball programs, it's going to take a lot of funds to be able to do that. NCAA Final Four, you got Florida and Auburn. The more and more I keep thinking about this, I'm really leaning towards Auburn having a good showing against Florida. I think, Florida, out of all the teams, they should have lost to Texas Tech. Auburn went wire to wire against Michigan State. Now, I know they struggled against Michigan and had to go on that incredible run to end up winning by 12, but they never didn't have the lead, and it was never closer than 5 against Michigan State. So I'm leaning towards more Auburn, and I think if Broome is healthy and everything I've read, he should be. I think Auburn-Duke is the national championship that we deserve. 2 guys going former players of the year, the incredible historic season. And I think, honestly, this could be the best Final Four we've seen in a long time. I think both could end up going down to the wire. I'm still leaning Auburn and Duke, but I can't wait with so much anticipation to see both these games, man. It is going to be an incredible matchup.
That first matchup, Auburn and Florida, it's master versus apprentice with Troy Golden, who was on Bruce Pearl's staff in 2014 for the Auburn Tigers. And what a job he has done at Florida. I seriously thought that Florida was kind of an afterthought when it came to basketball when Billy Donovan left. Yeah, Mike White kind of brought it to the prominence. They went to the Final Four in 2014. But this Florida team can win a national title, and that would be huge for the Florida Gators, especially we all remember the Al Horford, Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah years. But I think it starts with Walker Clayton Jr. If he goes off, he could be just the tournament MVP in the Final Four. But I think that Auburn learned their lesson. They lost to Florida at Neville Arena. Janai Broome, yeah, he's banged up, but if Janai Broome does his thing, I think that Auburn has the bodies down low you've got Chad Baker-Mazara, and you've got Dylan Carwell. It's going to be the guard play. If Denver Jones and Tahad Pettiford and Miles Kelly can take over a game, I think Auburn comes out on top. It's going to be a great Final Four matchup. And then on the other side, you've got a Houston team that's completely committed to defense. They got a little offense too. LJ Cryer can get his. Going up against pretty much the phenom that everybody wants to see. This is going to boost up the ratings to see Cooper Flagg, because we could be witnessing the next great NBA superstar. I cannot wait for this Final Four. I said on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show we did at Glenn Smith on Monday that I think it's going to be Auburn and Houston. I'm sticking with that because I think that Houston could cause Duke to make mistakes, even though I think Tyrese Proctor is going to have a great game. Cooper Flagg, that other freshman, I know you mentioned him on Sports Visions this morning.
Yeah, Colin Knopel, he's been sensational. Yeah. And I've heard the conversation about Flagg or Zion Williamson, who's been the best prospect that's come out of college the last 6 years. Wembanyama's the best prospect in general, but he didn't play college ball. I would lean more towards Cooper Flagg just because of his consistency, his effort on the defensive end, his IQ. But I tell you what, no one moved the needle in terms of with attention and all eyes on him than Zion Williamson. Now, Cooper Flagg's got a good following, but those guys, Zion, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, they were like the Beatles that year, man. They took college basketball by storm. It was an incredible tournament. That's when Auburn also made the Final Four back in 2019. All right, Rich, let's go to the NBA. Couple things I want to say. For one, I've never liked the Memphis Grizzlies, this reiteration of them. Now, I know there's talent. They were number 2 seed for 2 consecutive years, 21, 22, 22, 23. Last year, everyone got injured. And then this year, they were 2 seed for majority of the season. Here's the issue, man. They got no veteran leadership. And when you still got guys like Ja Morant, who is getting, excuse my French, getting his ass busted by Steph Curry with 12 threes. And he decides to do the gun pointing emoji. I mean, not emoji, but gun point gesture towards someone from Buddy Hield. Now there's an investigation into it. I'm not trying to make a big deal about that because honestly, that's something small, man. It's the fact that he doesn't seem to understand what it takes to be a leader, what it takes to be a face of a franchise, and I don't think he ever will. He also is very injury prone, and I think right now Memphis, who gave him that huge contract, in the next couple of years, you're going to see the downfall of this organization and Ja Morant. I just wanted to throw that out there because what I saw last night, this again was a team that was a 2 seed earlier in the year. They are right now the number 6 seed, and they're tied with Minnesota. I think they go even further and may even be an 8 seed before the end of the season. But, Rich, right now, who's the best team in the NBA?
Right now, it's the Boston Celtics. Until you knock off the champions, the Boston Celtics are the best team in the NBA because it's not about the regular season.
Hold up, Rich. Hold up. I'm sorry, man. But I said who's the best team, okay? Not who has the best chance in the playoffs for winning a championship. Right now, who is the best team in basketball? You still think it's the Boston Celtics?
If we're talking best record in the NBA, why don't you throw the 2015 Hawks in there because they won 60 games. Look, OKC has the best record. Obviously, they're playing the best in the regular season. But what's going to happen when they have to face Denver or even the Lakers in the playoffs? If they have to face the Lakers in the second round, even though the Lakers don't have home court and the Lakers are much better at home, LeBron's going to find a way to steal a game in OKC. I could see that series going 6 or 7 games and the Lakers pulling off the upset in the second round. It's about what you've done in the postseason, and I trust Denver. I trust Boston. I don't trust Cleveland. I really don't trust New York. And right now, I think LeBron and Luka are going to do whatever it takes to make this work in the playoffs. And you notice when the Lakers commit to defense. Colin Cowherd said this on his show because sometimes Lakers will take a night off. But when they beat Houston, they were completely committed to defense. And I think that's the version of the Lakers you're going to see in the playoffs. I don't really like the nucleus of the Warriors. I know that Jimmy Butler kind of gave them a little bit of a boost. Steph Curry's just getting up there in age. He doesn't play defense. But I'm sticking with my pick for the Boston Celtics. Right now, in my mind, they are the best team in the NBA because they have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. You got the veteran leadership of Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis. I think he's back. Yeah, he's back. Drew Holiday, even though he's getting up there in age, probably one of the best, smartest two-way guards we have in this game. I think there's too many stars out there that take time off. You got Zion Williamson getting shut down. Kawhi Leonard's only played 30 games this year. I don't trust any of those teams. When it's all said and done, I think the Boston Celtics get it done, and they go back to back.
All right, a couple things. For one, I didn't ask who's the best betting odds right now because if I did, I would obviously say Boston. I asked who's the best team. And right now, in the regular season, no one is playing harder than the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are 7 games away from reaching 70 wins. They're 63-12 right now. They have won 10 consecutive games, and they are just the best team in basketball. They have a 14.5 game lead over right now the second place Houston Rockets. So the best team in right now, I think, is Oklahoma City Thunder. Does that mean they win a championship? No, because I think they are one of the few teams that's playing with all their might right now. But I will say, with Holmgren coming back, Isaiah Hartenstein's addition, this team plays elite defense, and the hardest guy to guard right now in the NBA is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm still not ready to trust in them yet because as good as they are, when the defenses and all the other teams start amping up their pressure, they get to focus because it's 7-game series. They get to really put a lot of preparation into stopping OKC. Can they go out and get a bucket other than Shai? Who is that guy? Is it Chet? Is it Jalen Williams? I think they both have capabilities. I would not trust him. I would trust LeBron and Luka. Right now, LeBron and Luka are the 4 seed. They would be taking on Golden State. I don't want that because I want to see Golden State and Lakers in the conference finals, but that would be a heck of a first-round matchup. Denver and Memphis would play OKC and the Clippers, and Houston and Minnesota. I'm going to say this. If Kawhi Leonard stays healthy and plays like he's playing right now and the athleticism that it looks like peak Kawhi, Clippers could take down OKC. And if I'm the Thunder, I don't think I want to see OKC. I think I'd rather see Minnesota. But I think Minnesota, the Clippers, Golden State, Lakers, Denver, Houston, and OKC. I think all 7 of those teams I could easily see in a conference finals. Not as high on Houston and OKC just because of their inexperience. I would lean more towards the Lakers and Golden State. But if you're any team in the Western Conference right now, you're wanting to play Memphis. So they're the 6th seed. So if you're one of those top 3 seeds, you want Memphis. You don't want Minnesota. You don't want the Clippers because, you don't want the Lakers. You don't want Golden State. These are teams that are really hungry and playing really good basketball towards the end of the year. I think you would want to take on Memphis. On the East side, I would still right now, because Cleveland just came all the way back to beat New York. Cleveland's going to have the number 1 overall seed. I still would say Boston's the best team. And to be frank, if Jalen Brunson doesn't come back, I don't know if Boston has a tough time with many of them. Right now, they would play Orlando in the first round. And then they would play probably New York in the second round, and then either Cleveland, Indiana, or Detroit in the conference championship. I would have Boston as a favorite in every single one of those. So I'm still going to lean Boston against LA or Golden State. That's my pick, or Denver. But you saw in Denver, that's why I haven't talked about them right now, Rich, because Jokic had 61 last night, 10-10, and they still lost the game. So even with Jokic playing he's best he's ever played in his career, and this is a 3-time MVP and a NBA champion, he's playing better than he's ever played, and yet Denver's still losing games to really good teams. Now, they are in 3rd place. They are 2 games back of Houston, so they could get to that number 2 seed. But I'm a little bit more hesitant on Denver right now. I don't think they're a stronger team as they were 2 years ago when they won the championship. So those are some of our favorite teams right now. Who would be your MVP? Is it Jokic? Is it Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? The betting favorites say it's Shai, and I'm going to be – if OKC wins between 68 and 70 games this year, which they're on par for, I think it's a no-doubter. It may be a unanimous for Shai. As great as Jokic has played, this is his best year in his career, and he's been a 3-time MVP. I feel like Shai's been just as good, and he's played on a better team. You got to award him and the team for the effort that they had this year. Where are you leaning, man? I've been saying Denver all year, and Jokic should be getting it. I've said it all year long. But now towards the end, OKC's trying to do something that only 2 other teams have ever done, win 70 games, and the best player on that team is Shai. I feel like he should get MVP.
I agree. I think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get MVP. Jokic does get some recognition and get some votes. I think because of the season he's had. But Denver, record-wise, they're not as good as OKC, and they're really not the same team as last year. I know Christian Braun has been a kind of a nice feel. Well,
even
story.
2 years ago, Richard, like losing Bruce Brown, I think was really the Achilles heel.
I think that was a huge loss. KCP. I mean, they've lost some pieces from that championship team. Aaron Gordon, Russell Westbrook still putting up 13 a game. I don't know. I think that maybe Denver will figure it out when they get into the playoffs. Like you mentioned, right now they would be the 3 seed. I think that when they they got a pretty easy path to the conference finals because even if Houston gets by whoever the number 7 seed is going to be, and Denver has to play Houston, but Houston has the home court advantage. I like Denver in that series. So I think that Denver, and if OKC can find a way to get past the Lakers in the second round, I mean, that'd be a pretty good conference finals matchup between OKC and Denver. We'd feature probably the 2 best players in the Western Conference or in the NBA for that matter. I just can't wait for the NBA playoffs. We're a couple weeks away from the regular season wrapping up. And these play-in games, I mean, we got the teams already pretty much locked in. I know that Phoenix Yeah, man, they have really free fell. I cannot believe that
I can't believe you even brought them up, man, because they have been
could end up
atrocious.
missing.
And they could have two guys on the All-NBA team. So Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have been great, and yet Phoenix is not even going to make the playoffs. They've been absolutely terrible this year. And how about Atlanta too, man? They had an opportunity, I think, to maybe catch Milwaukee and not even be in the play-in game if they finish out the season strong. And they were playing good basketball, Rich. They were 35-36, right there, a game behind 500. I feel like they had a stretch that they could, climb back in it, and they've lost 3 or 4 now. They did beat Milwaukee at Milwaukee, but then a horrible loss at home against Portland. God, and they're trying to get Cooper Flag, and you not only lose to them, lose to them at home.
Hold on, is that they're going to be their pick? Because remember, they gave San Antonio some first rounders for the DeJounte Murray trade. Are we in the even year where is that a protected pick?
That's a good point, man. We'll have to find out.
I'm gonna have to find out because I don't know.
I don't think they have that pick, man. I really don't. I think you're right. I think the Hawks traded the pick. So we got I think most teams got between 7 and 8 games, Rich. So we'll see how.
I do want to say Zachary Rizachet is starting to look like an overall first round pick.
He already looked like that for all year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that the more minutes they play, that guy, as I predicted, actually, I thought that Alex Sarr was going to be the superstar. They're averaging right around the same amount. I think that McLean's probably going to get Rookie of the Year because he's averaging 15 a game. But I think if Zachary Rizachet played this well to start the season, he easily would have won Rookie of the Year.
I think that's a great point, man. So that's how it is looking right now in the playoff push for the NBA. Big win again for Cleveland tonight over the New York Knicks. It should be a lot of fun, though. I think both Eastern, more Western, is up for grabs. I think this is the most parity and the most amount of teams that I really feel confident in making deep runs that I ever have in the last 6 or 7 years in that Eastern Conference. So I can't wait to see how it all plays out over the next couple of weeks because, I love me some NBA basketball. I'm going to end it with this. I know it's not being talked about near as much now, but the Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James creation was, I think, a lot of nonsense. I think people are starting to realize what it was for. It was all for show. I think a lot of this was planned. I think LeBron knew what he was doing. And now he's getting people to hit his podcast that he's now starting up with Steve Nash. I think everyone that needs to take a chill pill. I will stay saying that Bronny James should not be in the NBA right now. I don't think LeBron reacted that way because he was trying to protect his son. I think there's always more meaning with someone that is calculated as LeBron James. And if you're Stephen A. Smith, I will agree with this. The one thing LeBron did say, he's on a world tour right now. And he's getting on anyone and everyone's podcast. Everybody wants him on because of him getting stood up. If I'm Steven, I would tell every NBA player to come out and cuss me out every time. Please put it on camera so I can make me more money. This guy's even more famous. And I think he's just proven now he's the biggest voice in specifically the NBA. But I'm thinking it's getting to the point now where just in the whole landscape of sports, Stephen A. Smith, and professional sports, not college sports, but professional sports, Stephen A. Smith is one of the biggest names, if not the biggest, that we have in our media landscape, man.
I absolutely agree. It took one moment with LeBron and Stephen A. going face to face as this moment went viral and their careers took off. It kind of reminded me of about a year and a half ago. One Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay's podcast and it blew up.
It started with Shannon, and now everyone wants that I got your moment on their platform. And every one of the podcasters in the NBA are trying to do it. And now it doesn't make for genuine conversation. It makes it seem like, Cat was genuine when he came on and did that. Now everyone's trying to be Cat Williams. I don't know if every time anyone goes on Shannon, everyone's calling out somebody. You got Marlon Wayans. I mean, everybody's got a gripe with someone. And it's like, do they go on there to have a personal therapy session with Shannon. And he's allowing the crash talking, but I'm not blaming Shannon. Like, this is the landscape we're in. This is what people want to digest.
Great platform.
They love it. Everybody loves it. But this is now what it's turned into. Instead of having conversations, it's about who can I throw down? Who can I say I'm pissed off at? What viral moment can I have? And I think that turns into kind of force-fed nonsense. Instead of it being genuine frustration you may have with someone, maybe you're kind of creating it in your own head or trying to have, again, that viral moment so it doesn't seem as genuine. Well, Richard, I had a lot of fun here tonight. I know that everyone else did. We are going to be no more shows the rest of this week. We'll have Sports Visions tomorrow morning. And, of course, Friday, we got baseball games for CV and Glenwood and Harris County the next couple of days. And then we will be back strong on Sunday to talk women's Final Four. By the way, I got UConn, South Carolina women's Final Four national championship. I think that's going to be a great game, Richard. Quickly tell me who you got.
So do I. UConn, South Carolina.
Yeah, Paige Beckers, South Carolina. And I honestly think Gino Ariema's team cuts down
number
the net.
12. The number 12.
Unbelievable.
He could get his 12th championship.
From Richard Holdridge, I'm Thrift Barringer saying thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We are presented by the way, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Had a lot of fun there. They got over 500 cars on the lot. Give them a call right now. You can go to glennsmith.com, see all the inventory. If you need eye care, okay, especially when dealing with your eyes, you want to make sure a doctor is trying to look out for your best interest. You're not just a customer. You're someone they're trying to personally help. Gordy Eye Care, Griff Gordy. I wouldn't recommend any other doctor than him and Gordy Eye Care, Richard. And then I also want to say thank you to Kinetic Credit Union. I bank with them. I've been banking with them for the last 15 years. They're a great, excellent bank, and they're a big sponsor of ours. And, of course, what can we say about Michael Bensko, Trent Davidson, everyone over at Buffalo Rock? I mean, for one, giving us all the products, for putting on that halftime show. It's been an incredible partnership with them.
Making this shirt.
Making our shirts. So thank you to them. Thank you to Alex Quinney, Allstate Agency. I'm going to see his new office tomorrow. He's got a new office off Somerville Road. Thank you to State Farm, Carroll Purdue, Masterwall, Alabama Power. That is all big-time sponsors. Zaxby's. We appreciate all the people in Harris County as well. And I can't wait to see those County Tigers next week against Northside. And Rick Beach, I know he's excited about that as well. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next time here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. You're ready to smile.